Hello, today we will deploy Spring Boot application to Heroku using CircleCI. The plan for today is create a simple web Spring Boot application, then create Docker file to build application using Docker itself, and create Docker Compost for building and running application using a previously built Docker file, create CircleCI config file to describe CI/CD processes, and finally deploy application to Heroku. I've already prepared the GitHub repository for our tutorial. Let's clone this. And using git clone command. Here we have the repository cloned on our computer, and then let's create our Spring Boot application into this repository. I'm using the IntelliJ IDEA for creating the new project. Spring Boot project. Let's leave group as is. Choose Java version 11 and leave everything as is. And for the just for the demo purpose, let's check only Spring Web to be able to create controllers and access it through browser. Let's choose the project folder and rename the project as is our folder. Click finish and waiting for the IntelliJ IDEA while IntelliJ IDEA preparing the project for us. And close unnecessary windows, and let's create our controller. To make it simple, let's just add the proper method and annotation into our main demo application class. So we need the REST controller annotation, and we need some get mapping as for the host, and public string hello method, which is returning just string hello world. Yep, and it's just fine for our demo purpose. Let's run it and make sure that we have corrected code which is compiled and accessible through our web browser, and it's let's wait for a second. Yep, we see that our application started on 88 port. Get to the browser, localhost, and we can see the hello world just in our browser. So let's stop it and create our Docker file to be able to build our application using Docker. Docker file should be placed into the root of our project. Let's create file Docker file. Let's add it to the Git, and I've already prepared the Docker file for us just to save time, and let's go through it and see what the purpose of the Docker file. So here we have the variables for Maven and for OpenJDK. Here we're Docker pulling all Maven dependencies using Maven commands. Here we copy the POM XML from our POM XML to build folder, which is actually a work.dir. And then we run Maven dependency to download all dependencies and resolve them. After that, Docker is building Spring Boot application using Maven and copy src folder to build src, and then run Maven clean and package command. And after that, we just we copy our jar jar from build target to up, and then run command. So let's correct the Docker file. Um, let's name it's our jar in that way, CircleCI tutorial. Let's copy that, paste here, and here. And let's navigate to POM.xml just to add our final name for our jar, as we mentioned before in Docker file. And we can refresh it. Let's navigate to our plan. We just finished the second point of our plan and go to the third point. Create Docker Compose file for building and running application using Docker. So let's create Docker Compose file. Docker Compose YAML and add to the Git. And I have always prepared this for our project. And let's Docker Compose. It's very simple. Just have the service section where we describe our service. It's container name, exposed ports, and operation. So let's define our service name. Let it be just CircleCI tutorial without any dashes or anything else, and the container name CircleCI tutorial. Good. And let's check it. So let's go into terminal and try to run docker compose run -- build. No, not run, up. And waiting for our Docker Compose finished their operations. Let's move on to the our fourth step while we're waiting for the dependencies downloading and resolving, and create CircleCI config. CircleCI config should be located in CircleCI folder, and just config YAML. Let's add to the Git, and I'm already has prepared CircleCI config file. What we can see here, here we can see our description of our CI/CD process. Here we have workflows, which is running while our jobs are executing. And here we have the jobs description. Here we have only one job, build and deploy. For our demo purpose, it's fairly enough. And this has steps. We have two steps. One of them is checkout. It's built into CircleCI step. It will pull repository from our GitHub and then run the command on this repository. Here we can see that we install the Heroku CLI. After that, we will be able to execute some Heroku commands. Here we can see that we execute a login into Heroku. It using an environment variable, which we will define later on in Heroku. Then we have the container push command with a flag, which is specify our Heroku project name and the type of the application. It's the same as Docker push. And then we have Heroku release command, which is run our previously pushed image into Heroku. So let's take a look at our terminal, and yeah, here we can see that our application running on 88 port. Let's update it and make sure that we still can see the hello world. Okay, the last step in our tutorial is to deploy application to Heroku. Let's do it. First of all, you need to create the Heroku account. I've already done it. And then we should create new application. Let's name it CircleCI tutorial, and choose the closest to your region. For me, it's Europe, and create application. And the next step is to replace our variables in CircleCI config file, just like that. So the next step is to commit and push our code into GitHub. But before that, we should navigate to the CircleCI user account settings and connect our GitHub with CircleCI. Let's do this. And the CircleCI tried to authorize in our GitHub. Let's confirm this and paste the password. Now we must to select an organization. Let's wait. It should be your GitHub account. Select, and here you can see your projects available in CircleCI. Here we can see our CircleCI tutorial. Let's select it and leave as it. So let's commit and push our changes into GitHub repository. Yeah, here we can see, should see our changes. Yeah, and let's navigate to CircleCI pipelines. And add our project. Choose manually, and we already placed our CircleCI config in the right place, and let's click start building. Here we can see that our job build deploy, or our workflow build deploy is running, and we can navigate to the details of the job and see that our project has a few steps. And here we can see that we have some errors in our build. Let's we can see that we are not able to logged in into Heroku, and that's because we shouldn't specify Heroku API key. Let's do this, and for this we need to navigate to our project and project settings. And here we can see environment variables, and let's add one of them. The name of the variable is Heroku API key, and the value you can find into your account settings under the API key section. Let's click reveal and paste it, and let's rerun our job. This can be done here, not here, but here. From start. Let's wait a minute. Yeah, we can see that our image is downloading. So finally we can see that our job is successfully done, and our image has been successfully pushed. So let's take a look at it on the Heroku. Heroku, we can see that we deployed our web application, and let's try to look if it works. Here we can see open app button, but unfortunately it doesn't work. Let's see what's wrong. View logs, and here we can see the error. Web process failed to bind the port within this. That because Heroku assigned the random port to our application, but our application is started on 88 port. So to fix it, we just add into our application properties property server port, which will be equal port. It's environment variable port. Our default for our local development environment, it will be 88. And let's commit it and run the job again. After pushing the changes into our GitHub, we can see that our build deploy workflow number 3 is done successfully. And now let's take a look into Heroku and at our app. Open app, the new. And here we can see our hello world message in the browser. That's it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.